Eastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Listen. You can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios. Just a bit outside. It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland. Show me the money! Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600. Alrighty then. Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
And a good Thursday afternoon to you, and yes, welcome into the McFarland Show. Darren and, well, there's a blank space for Justin. He is here.
What?
Wait a minute. He's
What?
in there. Wait a minute. Now,
What?
there he is. You know, we are. You can watch us.
Yes, you can.
YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. And
Adjust
I just didn't want to say your name if you couldn't be seen. But
We
there
have to
you are.
Adjust the brightness there.
Peekaboo.
There we are. Here we are.
Oh, wow. Now we're getting close-ups
You know, you shouldn't be that close.
of Justin.
That's why I've got the big laptop here. It's a barrier.
It is a barrier. Yeah, you do have the big laptop
Yeah. I wanted the big screen here, so you know. But it's good.
or laptop.
Yeah. It's basically a CPU that,
But it
you
could
know.
be called a lab. It looks like maybe a laptop. You know, that thing looks like it came out of the lab.
Yeah. I
That
can
thing's
see
big.
that. Yeah.
It's large.
Yeah.
Is it in charge?
No, but it's good. It's not in charge exactly, but
Okay.
it's good. It's suitable.
You know who else is large and in charge?
Big number 98 for the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, look at this. Gosh, it's like we've been doing a show for like more than a day. Yeah, this is week 5. Big Jeff. He goes by Big Jeff.
Yes, he does.
Jeffrey Simmons. I'm sure a lot of you have now seen the article that's been making its rounds. Well, you also have to subscribe to The Athletic, so maybe if you don't subscribe to The Athletic, you
don't have to. There's other ways to see this other than doing that.
You can cheat?
Well, USA Today and Titans Wire has their own version of this same story. That
okay.
gets you the meat, just not all the nitty-gritty details, but you can get the point by
Since
reading.
I paid for The Athletic, I wanted to go straight to the horse's mouth.
Yeah, you know.
You know?
Listen, some of us are premium people like that. Since I paid for the Athletic,
they give me a shirt too.
Okay,
so
well,
that helped incentivize.
You know,
it.
some of us will go ahead and let us in. You know, we're here. I'm here with Darren. Don't mind me. I'm here. I'm a guest of Darren McFarland here at the Athletic because I didn't pay.
No, I don't work for the Athletic. I just paid for it.
Yes, I'm here. I'm here with Darren.
Nobody gave me their code.
No. Yeah, so saying I'm here as a guest of you.
By the way,
with
I've
the
heard
information
that
from the Athletic.
Netflix is going to start. They're going to crack down on people. You know,
they've been
sharing
talking
their,
about that for a while.
I know. Can you really do it?
Oh, yes, they can.
Because I'm sure they've been working on that for years.
Oh, yes, they can. What they're trying to figure out is can they do it without losing everybody and ticking everybody off is
Yeah.
what they're trying to figure out.
Of course.
But can they do it? Oh, they could have been done it.
Yeah. Well, this article has got Titans fans a little upset.
Yeah.
You know? Just saying. And so this is about, now we know what happened in the offseason, right? And it was.
Well, which offseason?
It was around one of the
which thing are you
OTAs.
talking
Remember,
about?
Jeffrey Simmons talked to the media.
Okay.
And it was a very awkward conversation.
Yeah, he didn't want to say a lot.
Right. He was just like, hey, you know, I'm not mad. I'm not holding out, but I'm not coming to anything. I'm just here. I'm not going to work out, but I'm not mad. I'm not holding out, but I'm not going to work out. I'm here.
Present.
I'm present and accounted for. But I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to touch the field. I'm not mad. I'm not holding out. But I want to get paid.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
And I don't have an agent. And I don't really want to talk about all that stuff. But I'm talking about it. But I don't want to talk about it. I don't have an agent. Well, my uncle's also involved. It just was weird.
Yeah.
It was very weird.
There was that.
And look, I made my feelings known at a different place when that happened because Justin, both of us have been around these situations, and I'm not saying all times it's bad.
Okay.
It's don't representing yourself or having a family member
that
represent.
part of this. Okay.
You know where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Like,
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure.
I'm not going to throw out a blanket, a castanet, and say every time it's been the worst idea
normally
ever.
It doesn't go well.
But
normally, you can count on one hand the times or the players they're able to pull that off.
Typically,
it
doesn't go well.
No.
Okay, we've seen those examples. Vince Young had a family member, and that ended poorly. Poorly.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not going to, again, compare his situation to Vince Young's, but there are plenty of other examples, players representing themselves, and it just doesn't go well. Okay, I digress. So we kind of moved on. And look, he showed up, and he's, by the way, again, having another unbelievable year.
He's his normal self out there.
Do you have any idea what he makes this season?
Oh, I've looked it up before. I think it's, $3 million a year this year? Actually, maybe less than that. I think it's like $900,000 this year.
He is making $2.2 million in base this year.
It's a 2.2. Okay.
That is 98th among defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Now, is that weird that that's his number and he's ranked 98th among defensive linemen? I don't know. I don't know if that was cute for the story. No. They're saying he ranks that salary is 98th amongst defensive linemen.
All right.
Now, we know
that he's much better than that?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
Yes. I feel very comfortable saying that. I'm very comfortable.
He is.
In fact, no hesitation.
Well, not 98. He's a top 100 player in
the league.
In the league.
Yeah. Right.
Forget defense and offense.
Thank you. That's putting things in perspective.
Yeah.
Most people think it's Aaron Donald and then Jeffrey Simmons.
That would be the consensus.
Pro Football Focus says it's Chris Jones.
There's some people in Kansas City who disagree.
Jeffrey Simmons and Aaron Donald.
It really doesn't matter.
I don't really.
It does not matter.
It does. He's a top 3 2 defensive lineman, interior defensive lineman in the league. Right? Fair?
Yes.
Pro Football Focus did have him the second best overall. It's irrelevant who's first, who's third.
Yeah,
they have him second.
Sure.
Second best at his position in the entire National Football League.
Sure. You want to look up his Madden rating, too? I mean, listen, we know he's excellent. He's excellent.
So that's not what we're here to talk about.
No.
Whether he's good or not.
That's been
I think most people tuning into this show realize and have already come to the conclusion Jeffrey Simmons is good.
Yes, he's good at playing the football.
But there's this thing about him becoming a what? A UFA. Becoming a free agent.
Yes, unrestricted free agent.
Yes. Which it means that anybody, like Albert Hainsworth, when they finally stop tagging him, anybody could swoop in and say, I'll give you $1 gazillion. And he could say, yes, I'll take that. And he's gone. He's gone. Okay? What is alarming is really the stance of John Robinson and the Tennessee Titans in this article.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Before you say
Pump the brakes.
I'm sorry. The journalist in me has to say the reported stance of John Robinson according to what Jeffrey Simmons told The Athletic, because we have not, or at least I have not, heard from John Robinson on the record on this particular issue. So this is what is being reported that he is telling Jeffrey Simmons according to this article.
Okay. Do you think John Robinson is going to publicly say what Jeffrey Simmons is saying.
No, but he doesn't publicly say anything.
Of course.
So,
of course.
One way or the other.
But he's certainly not going to say this publicly.
No, he's not. But that's why I take this with a grain of salt because I'm finding this hard to believe. I am, myself. But we can continue on.
Okay. Well, why do you find it hard to believe?
Well, go ahead with because if people have not read the thing, then they're not going to know what he said, and I'm not going to respond. So just go ahead and lay it out here, Darren, so people could be in on the conversation here.
Well, they're basically saying, we love you, we want you.
Yeah.
I like it, I love it, I want some more of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Oh, that's the Predators. But that's essentially what they're saying in here. We love you. We know you deserve to get paid, but we're not sure we're going to have that kind of money.
Yeah, that's what they've said.
I'm paraphrasing.
Yes, according to this.
So, as you can imagine, people have kind of lost their minds over this. And I get it. So the question is, I think Aaron Donald is just over $30 million per year. $31 million, something like that, a year. Who was it? The guy in Indianapolis, I think his number is...
Oh, DeForest Buckner?
DeForest Buckner's what, 20...
Yeah, it's
21 million, is that right?
Something like that.
He's better than DeForest Buckner.
Yeah.
Okay, DeForest Buckner's a good player, he's better.
DeForest Buckner's really
and I think he's getting paid $21 million per year.
Okay.
Donald is making $31.5 per. So the question is, what is the right number? What do you think they can get him for? What do you think he's asking for? What do you think is realistic? What do you think? What would you feel comfortable? Let's just put yourself in John Robinson's shoes. What would you feel comfortable offering?
Well, there's a key component to all of this. And to me, this whole story is not even about Jeffrey Simmons. It's not. This whole story is about Ryan Tannehill. And I know that sounds weird.
No, you're right.
But it's not. Jeffrey Rosen, who I believe is the name of the gentleman, he is the general manager of the Philadelphia Eagles. When he was asked why are the Titans getting rid of A.J. Brown, he says, well, the key difference between the Titans organization and ours is we have our franchise quarterback is in his rookie, contract, and the Titans franchise quarterback is not. We can afford to pay A.J. Brown much more than the Titans can at this particular moment. Now, I'm paraphrasing when he said that, but that's what he was saying. And it's well known that guys with high-paid franchise quarterbacks can't hit the free agency market and spend like they want to spend because the Titans got to pay not only Ryan Tannehill, but Derrick Henry as well. They just signed their outside linebacker last year to a big contract, even though he's not playing. He got hurt. There's
Bud Dupree?
No. The doggone it. From Boston College.
Oh yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah. Who's out the whole year?
Who's out? He got hurt. He's out all year. Harold Landry. Thank you. Sorry. Harold, sorry. You've been out of sight, out of mind. I'm sorry, my friend. Phenomenal player. They paid him. They paid Bud Dupree. So now and they also paid Ben Jones. So now there's a big chunk of this that belongs, though, to Ryan Tannehill. And either they've got to pay Ryan Tannehill, which I think next year he's scheduled to make, $33 million or something next year?
He's making $29 million this year.
Yeah, but next year.
Fully guaranteed.
Yeah, and fully guaranteed at that. And he's got one more year left on this deal as well. If the Titans let go of Ryan Tannehill next year, they get a little bit more money to play with. They've got more money under the cap. If they keep him, that gives them a lot less flexibility.
Well, you're forgetting one other person, too.
Who am I missing?
I mean, Taylor Lewan.
Okay.
You got to move on.
Yeah, you're going to have to move on.
He's making $13 million this year.
But the issue with Taylor Lewan is, if you move on from Taylor Lewan, Are you going to draft his replacement, or are you going to go out and try to sign his replacement? And who's out there and available? And I don't know the answer to that.
But you can't keep paying Taylor Lewan $13 million.
No, and no one's advocating that. I'm just saying that where do you move that $13 million towards? Do you move it towards Jeffrey Simmons, or do you move it towards trying to find Taylor Lewan's replacement on the free agency market?
Personally, I think you have to draft him.
All right.
Because you're going to have to give – right. If we're being serious, Jeffrey Simmons is going to make $100 million, right?
Yeah.
So – you know the number's going to be in the 20s?
Sure.
I don't think he's going to give 30. I mean, let's go $25 million per.
But okay. And now here's where we get to the hardball here is how much he wants,
and that's the thing we don't know.
And what did John Robinson respond to when if he did say, "Listen, we don't have enough money to pay you." Was he saying, listen, we ain't got enough money to give you $35 million a year?
Okay.
Or was he saying, we don't have enough money to give you $25 million a year because we don't think you're worth that much? Now, it is very clear that the Titans organization loves Jeffrey Simmons. It would seem Jeffrey Simmons really likes the Titans organization. It would seem. However, it seemed they really like A.J. Brown, too, and, he ain't here no more.
Taylor Lewan is set to make almost $15 million next year.
Yeah, Taylor Lewan's not a factor.
I know. No, that's what I'm getting at. Do you know what his dead cap money would be if they caught him? They moved on.
I do not.
Take a guess.
Dead cap money. What's $8 million?
How about $0.0?
Okay, well,
they can literally just move on. By the way, his dead cap this year, if they would have moved on, would have been under $2 million.
Okay.
Next year, nothing. They can just move on. Like that is look, I understand. The big question mark about, okay, well, who's going to be your left tackle? I get it. But you're searching for large sums of money to pay Big Jeff.
Yeah.
And he's never available. So you have to move on. And I understand you'll have to figure out his replacement. But essentially, you're always trying to replace him every year anyway because he's not available. So you're in the same boat, right? And you're paying a guy who's not there.
But Darren, here's the
that money is a no-brainer in my opinion.
Gotcha. Here's the other part of this though. Are you paying a left tackle to start over again with your second-year quarterback, or are you paying a left tackle that you want to go in here to protect your now 35-year-old quarterback here in the back?
No.
So
young guy.
So if that's the case, then we're hitting the reset button then on the entire offense essentially, or at least a good chunk of it, because you want to bring in new wide receivers and all these other things.
You have you can find anyone to do what Ryan Tannehill's doing right now. Honestly.
Oh no, you can't.
Oh yes, you can.
Oh no, you can't.
Sure, you can.
Okay.
He's attempting 20 passes a game. Like, honestly, you can get anybody to do that.
You
don't need a $30 to $35 million quarterback to do what he's doing.
He's attempting, and, he's cost him a couple, but he's attempting these passes without costing them games at the same time. And that's the key. It's one thing to attempt these passes. It's another thing to attempt these passes without getting your team in trouble. Now, there's a lot of people under the sound of my voice who want to blame him for the Cincinnati loss last year because he got 3 interceptions, and, okay. However, more times than not, Ryan Tannehill has not put this team in jeopardy of losing while trying to manage, if you want to call it that, the game with 15 to 18, pass attempts. And that's what I'm getting at. And that's where you cannot just find anybody to throw the football 18 to 20 times without throwing major game-breaking interceptions in the process. So he doesn't put them in danger while trying to manage the game or get the game in a good spot. And that's what you can't find just anybody to do. You can't find just anybody to throw the ball away, to know when to take the sack, to not put your team in trouble. Because you can throw 20 passes, but if you're throwing 2 interceptions a game, 3 interceptions a game, you're killing your team.
Oh, you mean like Zach Wilson when he tried to throw it away last Sunday in interception?
How about that?
Yeah.
You cannot just find anybody to go do that. No, you cannot.
You can for a much, much lesser price. Maybe they won't be at the level of Ryan Tannehill, but the gap between a $30 to $35 million a year Ryan Tannehill and a guy that you're paying peanuts to, that gap is not worth that money.
If anybody could do it, then Marcus Mariota would still be here. If anybody could do it.
Okay, we'll have to pick this up in a little bit, but we're not done with this conversation. We are going to come back and head to Philly and check in with Nick Cale. We'll do that on the other side here on the McFarland Show, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS. There's so many great deals. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And you get paid your winnings fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Douglas is a real Prevagen user and paid testimonialist.
My name is Douglas. I'm 79 and I live in Chicago. I'm a writer, director. I used to be a marathon runner. Now I'm a walker. And the kind of work that I do, you are surrounded by people who are all younger than you. Memory became a factor. As everyone gets older, where did I put my keys? But I had to get help to stay competitive. I happened across Prevagen, and I started taking it. I saw myself having an improved memory, which at the same time, I felt better about myself. I could not be doing what I'm doing today had it not been for Prevagen.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Prevagen is available in stores everywhere. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who were cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
NFL Plus is here, which means no matter where you are, this is how you football. Let's go! You can stream live, local, and primetime regular season games on your phone or tablet, 45-minute game replays, and more.
That's how you do it right there.
This is the NFL for every fan. This is football freedom. This is your game on the go. Wherever you are, this is how you football. Go to plus.nfl.com/radio and start your free trial of NFL Plus today. Terms and conditions apply.
This is the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
Welcome, Angie McCartney.
When he'd come home, Jim would say to him, "How are your bowels, son? Are you eating properly?" He'd go, "Oh, Dad, you know, I'm a beetle. You don't ask me about my bowels." Oh, it's not that funny. Come on.
We didn't expect to be talking about Paul's bowels this morning.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Back here on the McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here with you on this Thursday afternoon. Let's head up to Philadelphia, city of brotherly love. It's nothing but love in Philly. Let's check in with Nick Cale. They love their baseball and their football team right now, I can tell you that. Who is now joining us those mornings there on 1210 WPHT there in Philly. Nick, what's going on?
D-Mac, good to be with you. I like that you tied in the city of brotherly love. I feel like it's a national promo for Sunday Night Football. All you needed to do was drop in a Rocky reference, a cheesesteak, and the fact that we booed Santa Claus, and you hit it all.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Al Michaels loves Thursday Night Football with the matchups they've been getting, and he probably is going to love the Eagles and the Texans tonight. I said the other day, I was like, Al Michaels' mood is not going to get any better.
No, it's not. And also, he's going to be dealing with a bad Texans team tonight. I mean, you guys certainly can attest to that in the AFC South. I think, you know, whatever fan base the city of Houston has as what I think is kind of a lackluster sports town, they're probably either traveling to Philly to try to get tickets for the World Series, or they're going to stay at home and watch the Astros try to beat the Phillies I'm thinking the Eagles are going to be playing in front of about 1,700 people tonight.
No, in all seriousness, I talked to people that were in Houston on Sunday, and they said it was alarming right before kickoff. You could almost count the people in the stands. Man. It was that bad. Man. I mean, they literally do not give a crap about the Texans in Houston.
Wow.
No, and I guess rightfully so, right? You don't have a quarterback. Your lone bright spot is Dameon Pierce. I think Brandon Cooks has been ruled out tonight. So,
yep.
All that being said, though, I got to tell you, here's the crazy thing, and you and I both know that we love some action with sports wagering and looking at spreads. I tell you, the Eagles laying 13.5 or 14 on the road, you got to be real courageous to do that, because I think it's roughly, and correct me if I'm wrong, it's about like 60% of the time that home dogs getting double digits cover. So it might be one of those games where you just kind of throw a few bucks on the Texans and you plug your nose and pray for the
best. Yeah, you have to be pretty desperate to do that. But, hey, winners are not just around the games of the week, right? Winners can be had with crappy games too. So this Eagles team, I've been, we do our top 10 every week, power rankings for the NFL. And it took me, look, I had them up there, but it took me a while to really buy in. And then after they just kept winning week after week, I'm like, okay, I guess I have to take them for real. They seem to be the cream of the crop in the NFC and NFC conference right now that looks down. But what is the move when you see it? And then, of course, here you can imagine, Nick, after Sunday's game, it does not help that A.J. Brown went absolutely nuts against the Steelers.
No, he has a hat trick in the first half, to use a hockey reference. So I'm sure our old bosses would love that reference. But, no, it's, here's the thing. They went in for A.J. Brown. At the time, I thought both teams kind of made out. I thought what the Titans got in return and what the Eagles got for a playmaker to win now made sense. But I'm with you. Right now, in the NFC, they're clearly the team to beat. I mean, they dismantled Minnesota. They beat Dallas. It'll be a little different in a rematch when Dak Prescott plays the second time around. But you just kind of surveil and scan the landscape of the NFC. The Rams have a bit of a hangover. Tom Brady looks like he's not what he used to be. Family issues on top of things. And Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Trade deadline comes and goes, and Aaron Rodgers doesn't get a weapon. I mean, I guess that's what you have to deal with if you're going to make $50 million a year. I think there's still a case to be made that and probably a strong case. And I try not to be a homer. Buffalo is probably the best team in the NFL, despite having one loss. As good as Jalen Hurts has been, as good as the Eagles' offense has been, as good as their defense has been with their shutdown corners. You look at Buffalo, and Josh Allen's a bad man, and they have arguably the best defense in football. So right now it feels like it's a collision course for Philadelphia and Buffalo, injuries aside, down the second half of the season here.
So my question is this. How close were the Eagles as a team, or maybe the fan base, how close were you guys from moving on from Jalen Hurts before the season started? How short of a leash did he have?
Yeah, it's interesting. I've always been a Jalen Hurts believer. Now, granted, I'm an Alabama fan. I've watched every single snap he's ever taken in college, Tuscaloosa, and then also in Oklahoma when he went to Norman for 1 year. And the kid's a winner. He's not a polished passer. He's never going to be in the pocket like Peyton Manning. But he has developed every step of the way, and he has won games. And now he's at the point where he's got weaponry. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Devontae Smith. He's got Dallas Goedert. So I always thought he could win if they put the right pieces around him. And he could be a guy that throws for 240, 250 a week, rushes for 70. I mean, he's put together from the waist below like Cam Newton. He's a tank. He's a physical specimen. He squats 600 pounds.
Yeah.
So, but I think the thing to remember is he was a second-round pick in 2020. He was a project. It was a pandemic year. And then last year, despite the ups and downs, in his first full-time season as a starter, he took them to the playoffs. And now, again, you're seeing that progression and development. They're undefeated. So I never truly doubted him. I got labeled a homer. Oh, you're just a Bama apologist. I'm like, no, this was the guy that got benched at halftime of the national championship for Tua Tagovailoa. So he's got his flaws, but he's showing he's a coach's kid. He's smart. He's athletic. he's got everything that he needs to be, a top 7 or top 8 quarterback in this league.
My favorite thing is him busting up the reporters going over plays at the podium. When he slips off into the QB language, I get a kick out of that every time I see that. That is just fantastic. I wanted to ask you as well about the other thing that's happening there in Philadelphia, and that's that little event called the World Series there. I am calling you guys sort of the Atlanta Braves of last year, where no one expected the Phillies to make a run, and here we are 2 games away from winning the whole thing after you fired the manager in the middle of the year. This has to be one of the most unlikely baseball seasons that the Phillies have ever had, and the city is just on fire for this.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we talking about? Like, how surprised were you when they just kept winning these games?
Oh, I'm completely stunned. And you referenced the Braves. It's a great comparison because last year at this time I was doing sports radio in the city of Atlanta while still living in Nashville, Tennessee. So I lived through that one and worked in Atlanta sports radio from a market standpoint when they went on that run. And that team is far more talented, especially lineup-wise, than this Phillies team. This Phillies team has gotten hot. Bryce Harper, we know, is an MVP. He's a stud. But from 1 through 8, they're not as good as that Braves team was last year from a sheer talent standpoint. Like, they don't have an Ozzie Albies or a Ronald Acuna running around. They've got good players, but they got hot. And when you make a managerial change like they did in early June, I don't think – because at the time they were 12 games out of first place. They were in third place behind the Mets. And yet Rob Thompson gets this, opportunity of a lifetime. He's a baseball lifer. He was on the Yankee staff in the 2000s. And all of a sudden they turn it around. And I didn't believe that they would make this run. Like when we started the show I'm doing now in Philly, I said I think they're going to beat the Cardinals. And then I picked the Braves to win in 6 games. Now, I got ridiculed for that, number 1, because I picked the Braves to win. Number 2, because I had totally forgotten that that's a best-of-5 series, so there's no way in hell the Braves can win. They can't play 6. So I got crushed multiple ways for that one. But then I was wrong on that, and I was glad to be wrong. But I think there's a camaraderie. There's this buy-in and this belief between you got the pedigree of a Bryce Harper. You've got Schwarber, who hit 46 jacks in the leadoff role, and they're a flawed team. They're not a great on-base percentage team. Aaron Nola has now failed them in 3 straight starts in the postseason after 2 good starts to start the playoffs. So they've got flaws, but there's that kind of that destiny-type feeling, although tonight's imperative. If they don't win tonight, they're not winning 2 in Houston.
Yeah, they're playing with house money here at this point, is what you're saying here. It sounds like the fans are thrilled no matter what happens.
Be careful saying that, because I said that in 2016, and that bit me right in the butt.
Well, 2016 was just something had to give in 2016. You had 2 teams of just,
It was like, no way Cleveland's going to lose
something just
the
had
final
to happen,
2 games at home.
Yeah.
And we know what happened.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it is, I'll tell you what, the pitching matchup, Verlander and Syndergaard, I mean, whoo. That is good stuff. And then last night, I couldn't believe after Philadelphia just home run fest the night before, doing what only has been done now twice in World Series history. And I know it was a combined no-hitter, but, man, to get no-hit at home, I would have never thought that last night.
No, me neither. It was totally discouraging. I mean, they never even got going. But it's just some of these odd trends that we've seen, right? Like you mentioned, 7-0 Phillies home run fest. That game was over from Jump Street. Mm-hmm. Phillies completely out of it last night, 5-0. And then you get Verlander tonight, who's coming off of his best World Series start of his career in his last outing. But how can a guy who's 39, a surefire Hall of Famer, first ballot, how could he go into his last start having been as bad as he's been in the World Series? What were the numbers? He's like 0-6 with an ERA like north of 6 in the World Series. With that guy's pedigree, that's
good.
Another thing that makes no sense.
Yeah, it is not good. All right, leave us with this. When you were here, you referenced you working here, since now you're back in Philadelphia, but you spent a lot of time watching bad Tennessee football, and I'm talking about the Vols. I mean, the dumpster fire they were for a good while. You move away, and they're the number 1 team in the land, and now we've got this gigantic tilt. You also referenced working in the Atlanta market with Georgia and Tennessee. And Georgia's about an 8-point favorite. What do you make of that game?
Well, first of all, when the line came out on Sunday, it was 11.5.
Yes.
I jumped on the Vols plus 11.5. I said, I think I tweeted this. I said by kickoff it'll be down to 8.5. Well, by Sunday night it was down to 8.5. So I mean, it just plummeted. But there's a part of me that says Tennessee, because they look so good, right? With Hendon Hooker, the offense, they just defensively just smothered Kentucky. You say, oh, this is a steal. Yet the odds makers open up the line double digits. And so, it makes you feel like you're getting duped in, and it's a bit of a sucker bet. I still like Tennessee. I think this is a really, really close game, 3-point game, 4-point game at worst, a touchdown either way. But one thing that bothers me a little bit, and I think this might work against Tennessee a little bit, college football playoff rankings came out 2 nights ago. And Georgia was, number 3, I believe.
Yep.
Tennessee 1, Ohio State 2, Georgia 3. If I'm Kirby Smart, I'm saying, wait a minute. We're undefeated. We're the defending national champions. And short of, a Joanne Jennings, miracle that Vern Lundquist called 5 years ago, we've taken care of this series. They don't believe in you. They don't respect you. I don't think an angry, disrespected Georgia team is the best ingredient for Saturday's game on CBS at 2:30. But I still like Georgia to win this game in a close game. I love Tennessee with the points.
Yeah, and it probably didn't help Eric Ainge coming out on the Sports Animal and saying, "Yeah, it's not that big of a deal to play at Georgia. It's not really that loud there." Wow. I'm sure that will be some nice bulletin board material for the bull. I'm sure Josh Heupel's like, "Really?
Just why?
Really? Why would you say that?
Just why?"
I know.
He's a radio guy. He's a radio guy in Knoxville now. Nick, appreciate the visit, man. Good talking to you. Keep soaking it up. Enjoy the ride there in Philadelphia. It's been a lot of fun to watch from afar.
D-Mac, always love the time, buddy. Thank you so much.
All right, that is Nick Cale, mornings there in Philadelphia on 1210 WPHT. And yes, Phillies and Stros tonight, Game 5, the critical Game 5, the
Odd
swing
number.
game, yes. Which, the reason we say that is because the odds are when a series is tied at 2, that Game 5 winner are greatly in the favor of the Game 5 winner to finish things off.
Massive.
So, yep, massive. All right, we'll take a break. Come back. More of the McFarland Show, by the way. Cure Hotline wide open the rest of this hour. 615-844-5600. That's 844-5600. More here on WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
Are you tired of your current vehicle? Maybe looking for a new or pre-owned vehicle? Hey guys, it's Zach. Hayes Nissan of Rivergate is the best choice for your vehicle needs. Located at 1550 Gallatin Pike North in Madison, Hayes Nissan of Rivergate has been serving the Middle Tennessee community for over 3 decades. That gives you confidence that Hayes Nissan of Rivergate can find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and your budget. Their friendly and knowledgeable staff will make sure you are taken care of. I should know because I've seen it firsthand. Every vehicle I've purchased has been from Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, and I love the entire process. Now, I don't want you to forget about their award-winning parts and service department. It has everything you need to get you back on the road. Go visit them on the web at nissanofrivergate.com. They're open there 24/7, 365 days a year. Or give them a call at 615-865-7220. Again, that number is 615-865-7220. That's Hayes Nissan of Rivergate, where your dollar always goes farther.
Are you in trouble with the IRS? Detaxify is the trusted tax relief solution that has an A+ rating with the BBB, 5-star rating from Google, and specializes in the IRS Fresh Start program.
If you have years of unfiled back tax returns or owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, the government has the power to garnish your wages, freeze your bank account, and in some cases, they can now revoke your passport. This is John Zandy, president of Detaxify. Detaxify specializes in the Fresh Start program where we help struggling taxpayers get out of collections or settle their tax debt. If you're being audited or dealing with threatening letters from the government, you may need professional tax relief representation. My team at Detaxify can stop the tax collectors and stop the threatening letters from the IRS or state. Call me now for a free consultation.
Call now, 800-601-7780. That's 800-601-7780. Detaxify offers a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Call now, 800-601-7780. 800-601-7780.
Whether it's getting your day started with a clear mind, taking the edge off after a busy day, or hitting the reset button at night, Cure helps us be our most productive selves. Completely organic and free of THC, pesticides, and heavy metals, Cure focuses on specific need states with great-tasting CBD products designed to help you focus, chill, and sleep. And that is exactly what the Cure brand products are named. Focus, chill, and sleep. Now available at select MAPCO locations. Visit thecurebrand.com to learn more and follow them on social media.
Five-state forecast. Your exclusive national sports radio, WNSR Skyscan forecast. Today's going to be sunny with a high of 76. A mainly clear night for tonight, the low 56. Friday, sunshine, high 78. Saturday, clouds and showers, high 72. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
Back here on the McFarland Show on this Thursday afternoon, Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Darren and Justin here with you. Ray alongside as well. Appreciate Nick Hale for joining us in Philadelphia. The Ravens went out and made a big splash. Tried to shore up, get some help on defense. They get Roquan Smith, but now they've lost one of their weapons on offense. Their head coach, John Harbaugh, saying today that wide receiver Rashad Bateman will be done, will miss the rest of the season. He's got a foot injury. I guess he needs surgery. And so Rashad Bateman, done for the year. They are the Monday night game. They're down in New Orleans to take on the Saints. And apparently Deshaun Jackson, going into year 29, I believe, will make his season debut for the Ravens.
Deshaun Jackson.
Has he played for every team but the Titans?
Are you sure he didn't play for the Titans?
I don't know. Maybe he did.
Maybe he was just a training camp guy.
Maybe he was a practice squad guy.
I don't know.
Maybe he's like Josh Gordon. Although Josh Gordon was active, right?
Yes, he was. I believe he was active for one game.
And the Saints are placing wide receiver Michael Thomas on IR, which means he'll be gone for another 4 weeks. Is that guy, I mean, you're talking about a guy that got paid and that just has,
Yeah.
He has been nothing but an injury.
Yeah. Hasn't worked out.
It has not. Even though they paid him a lot of money.
Hasn't worked out.
Predators are going to try to get back on track tonight. They are in Calgary.
Oh, boy.
Take on the Flames. Another 8 o'clock start tonight.
Maybe they need to switch the start times. 8 o'clock is not good for them. Try 6:30. Let's just try something different here. 5:30, maybe, 5:48. Just drop the puck then. Just any time but 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock seems to just, not work for their schedule.
What do you think the league would say if they said, hey, can we, bump this up a little bit? Let's start it a little bit earlier. What do you think?
I think the league would say, well, yeah, our contract says we can't do that.
Probably not. Yeah. They're probably not going to go for that.
No.
So let's go back on what you said. So you seem, from that conversation in the first segment, you seem to me to be very much on board about bringing Ryan Tannehill back next season.
No. It's not about bringing Ryan Tannehill back. It's about making sure that everybody can understand that these are not individual decisions, that these are team decisions. And I think sometimes you look at them as individual decisions. Why don't you like A.J. Brown? Why don't you like Jeffrey Simmons? Why did you let Javon Curse go? Why did you let go of Justin McCarron, if you want to go all the way back there? I mean, you don't like Corey Davis. Sometimes you look at this as individual decisions. These are not individual decisions. These are overall team decisions that have to be made and dealt with, and you have to figure out where the priority happens to be. So am I a fan of bringing Ryan Tannehill back? I'm not saying that one way or the other. What I am saying is you have to make sure that decision is made and it directly affects what happens with Jeffrey Simmons. Because if you can't get money from Ryan Tannehill and that contract, then you need to get it from somewhere else, or else you are going to lose this guy. And if you're okay with that, then so be it. And what's going to happen is if they cannot reach a deal, because I believe Jeffrey Simmons does he have one more year after this, or is he up? I think he has one more year.
There's an option year.
It's an option year. What's going to happen is they're going to pick up the option, and then they're going to trade him, just like they did with A.J. Brown, because they're going to get something for him instead of just letting him walk. And that would be a painful pill to swallow, but that's going to be the reality unless they determine that Jeffrey Simmons is worth this organization chewing up a significant portion of their salary cap while they continue to try to, find a quarterback, pay a quarterback. I mean, it is all interconnected. And if you don't think it's interconnected, then in my humble opinion, I don't think you're looking at it the right way, and you're just saying, well, they don't like him, and I don't understand why they just can't pay him, because they can't pay him and everybody else at the same time.
He is set to make $10.7 million next year. Okay. That'll be his base salary and his cap hit.
Okay, and that would be the fifth and final, right?
Yes.
Okay, so, but
and then he would be set to become a UFA in 2024.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing. They feel like they have some time, which they've got a little, not a lot, but they've got a little bit. They can still get something done this offseason if they want to restructure some guys. And the other thing about all of that is there's still a couple of guys we probably don't know about or haven't thought about that probably need some attention or are going to need to be, re-signed one way or the other here that, are going to have some are going to bring some cap weight with them if they want to sign them up long term. I'm drawing a blank here, but I feel like there's somebody here. Or you can restructure. You can call Kevin Byard in and say, hey, listen, we need some space. Do you mind signing this piece of paper here so we can shuffle some things around?
Yeah, but you know how that works. When you do all that stuff, then you start, you start backloading, and you put it so you make it so bad you can't get out.
Yeah.
From underneath it, like it ends up in the long run a lot of times hurting you more. I know you're looking for something instantly. You're looking for something in the now.
Yeah.
But then you have to pay for the sins later.
Yeah. And again, they cannot fill all their needs in the draft. They're going to have to go out and sign somebody else, and they're going to command money themselves.
Well, what is a fair, I think, pushback on John Robinson right now is at some point, Justin, you have to start getting second contracts out of your draft picks.
Oh, wow.
And they haven't been doing that on his watch.
No. I mean, it's not.
They're not getting second contracts on anybody he's drafting. That's a problem.
Yeah, that hasn't gone well.
Right. That is a problem. Like if you're doing things right, you're talking about second contracts with your draft picks, especially the high ones. And you can't keep letting guys go like A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
In this case, don't forget they had
Rashad
Jack
Evans.
Conklin was one that they drafted. They never saw his second contract.
Nope.
The USC in the secondary.
Oh, the Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had Arsenio in my head.
Let's say
Adoree Jackson. I was going to say Arsenio Jackson.
Arsenio Hall?
I have no way. I was going to say Arsenio Jackson.
You said USC triggered California.
I don't know why I went.
And all of a sudden, the intro to the Arsenio Hall show went off in your head. And I don't understand how your mind works, but okay.
Adoree Jackson.
Adoree Jackson.
Did not see it.
Rashad Evans.
First round pick. Rashad Evans. First round pick.
Yeah.
Like, you can't keep. You got to get out of that business.
Yeah.
You can't keep drafting guys in the first round or second round, and they're gone in 4 years.
Yeah.
Or 5 years.
But, I think they are in a situation where they are trying to figure out which players really fit. Because, listen, they re-signed Harold Landry. He's here, except he's not playing. But, he's here still. And has contributed greatly to the organization. I believe he was definitely a J-Rob pick at that particular moment. So, I mean, it's not they've got to figure out who they want to be and how they want to be it. And I think that's really, really hard, and it all hinges around the quarterback. Because the other thing about this, Darren, is if you decide that we are done with Ryan Tannehill after this year, we've seen Malik Willis out there for one game in limited action, it would seem the offense currently is not made for him. Don't you have to restructure this offense to fit him? And doesn't that include new personnel? And then how do you do that?
Well, you're right. And by the way, just looking over Tannehill, I mean, you're going to have an $18.8 million cap hit if you don't pay him $32 million next year.
Yeah.
So they may be stuck. I know that frees up $14 million, but you're talking about an $18.8 million cap hit for a guy you don't have. And then after that, I mean, look, it's not friendly. Look,
between
they
that
keep
and
getting
Taylor
crushed.
Lewan, there's the money for Simmons right there.
Yes. The point is, I think no matter what the uncertainty is on who's your left tackle, who's under center, I just don't think there's any scenario when Aaron Donald, by the way, every year is getting that much older. You may have the best at that position, and that position is a pretty important position.
It is.
Because when you're winning the wars in the trenches, you're winning a lot on that side of the ball. Because that just helps everybody behind you, right? When you're winning the battles in the trenches. Everything behind you, those linebackers and secondary, if you're tearing things up in the trenches, man, it's amazing how much better everybody looks.
Yeah.
But you just don't go out there and replace a guy like Jeffrey Simmons. You can't.
It's very difficult. And so if that's the case, then you have to be sound. Which brings me back to why I don't know if the Titans really said what's been reported in this article. Because, listen, they know way more about this than we do. They have to know that Jeffrey Simmons potentially is a generational type of talent. Then why would you verbally say to a generational talent, we don't know if we can pay you? We don't know where the money's going to come from. What kind of negotiation is that somebody would say that to somebody else? That's not a negotiation. That's a surrender if you use that terminology. Yeah. So I'm not ready to say, I don't know if John Robinson really said that. I don't know if that's just your interpretation of what he said or if he really used those words. I'm finding that hard to believe.
Well, where do you think he would just pluck that out of the thin air? I mean...
No, I think he would paraphrase it. I think he would take the feeling into it. This is emotional. Listen, man, you're talking about a lot of money.
Of course. You're talking about life-changing.
You're talking about life-changing money here. This man's been working since he was 7 years old to get to this position. And now you get to this position and they sounding shaky. And then somebody come and ask you about it, and you might say, you know what, basically, man, they told me they ain't got it.
Yeah.
That's how that comes out.
Yeah.
Real simple. Because you've been wanting this money for a long time now. You've gone through a lot. Jeffrey Simmons, we know Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons almost wasn't here. A couple of decisions one way or another. There's some stuff on tape of some stuff that he did. Jeffrey Simmons don't have to be here. So he's this close to getting the payday, and now he's getting the shaky talk from the Titans, and somebody comes ask him about it, he might say, man, listen, they told me basically they ain't got it.
Yeah.
So that's how that quote ends up in the article. Not a verbatim, but a feeling, an emotional reaction perhaps. And here I am doing the same thing, paraphrasing or trying to connect the dots about something.
Back to wrap up the first hour next.
Now's the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Sign up with the promo code GregP. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine all of those across a variety of platforms with same-game parlays for a bigger payout. Live betting, you see a trend, something that's going on in a game, you can get updated odds on games that have already started and get you paid your winnings fast. All that on the app that's saved by using the promo code GregP. All that on the app. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets, win or lose. Promo code GregP. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You got to be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued. Non-withdrawable. Free bets that expires 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line 1-800-889-9789.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required. Refund available for 60 days after purchase.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Tired of the same old company holiday party and looking to reward your team with a fun night out? What about something different for a birthday party or group gathering? Hello, this is Philip Cox of Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers, and we specialize in group events no matter the size at our Tusculum, Donaldson, Hermitage, Murfreesboro, and Hendersonville locations. Plus, Hendersonville and Murfreesboro offer enhanced entertainment options with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. 'Tis the season to have fun with family, friends, and business associates, and there's no better place to do it than at Strike and Spare Family and Fun Center. Visit strikeandspare.com to learn about the group outing option. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Hey, it's Sammy Kincaid, host of Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid. Every Saturday morning from 9 to 10, listen in as I highlight women in sports from high school to the pros, athletes and administrators. And you know what? Let's talk some ball with women covering the game across the country. Power Hour with Sammy Kincaid is every Saturday morning. Listen in on Nashville Sports Radio from 9 to 10 a.m.
To Bill King, just kick off the second hour. There's some big college football games going on. There's some college football news, so I don't know if you've heard about it, but we'll talk about it in about 5 minutes with Bill King. Back here on the McFarland Show, it looks like we talked about this yesterday that Daniel Snyder has asked Bank of America to help him maybe find some suitors.
Yes,
to sell his Commanders franchise to, and some names are starting to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is
it's an
Jeff
attractive
guy?
franchise. Yeah.
Ray, what's his last name? This Jeff guy?
I believe his last name is Bezos.
Bezos. What's his deal? What does he do? Does he have money?
Yes.
Yeah, I think he's got more than 15 cents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most people have more money than me.
He's got a couple of nickels to rub together. Yeah.
Yep. He owns a company called Amazon. A little small company called Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, what do they know about the NFL?
Not a lot.
I don't know, but he has been going to a ton of games hanging out with Roger Goodell. He has been sitting in, especially on Thursday nights. They've become buddy.
They know how to turn Al Michaels loose.
He probably makes.
They know how to tell Al, "Hey Al, go just go for it, Al. Just go for it, buddy. Whatever you've been wanting to say, just say it. It's okay."
Whatever Snyder has as his number, Jeff probably makes it in a day.
It's possible.
Maybe not a day, but
here's
in a short amount of
$7 billion.
time.
Listen, there's only 2 human beings who own space companies, okay? Everybody else has a government agency with their space company. There's 2 people who own space companies, okay? So, and he's one of them.
Now, the other name, Byron Allen.
Yeah.
Is going to put a bid in.
Media mogul Byron Allen.
Does he have that kind of dough?
He does. So Byron Allen is a guy that, whether you know it or not, you have watched things that he is responsible for that you just don't know that you were watching and he was responsible for. You have watched television stations and networks that he owns. You just don't know that he owns the television station or network. So yeah, he's got net worth is just about $1 billion. He doesn't have Jeff Bezos' money, but he's got enough money to put together a decent bid.
Good for him. I had no idea. I mean,
absolutely.
After that changes, I've admired his work over the years. I just didn't know he was worth that kind of dough.
It's sneaky. He's had the sneaky money through the background, just one deal after another, just building.
Amazon.
Good for him.
But it's not Bezos money.
Well, can you imagine
Bezos?
Bezos?
It's not Bezos
Well,
money.
nobody's.
Listen, let's not get it.
I will change the name to Washington Prime. I have no problem with that. I have no problem with changing it to Washington Prime.
If it means Bezos has got it.
Yeah.
And keep in mind also, Jeff Bezos owns something else already there in Washington.
So what you see on those trucks, that would be on their helmet?
The Washington Post belongs to Jeff Bezos as well.
Hour number 1's in the books. We'll come back, kick off second hour. Bill Keane next.
On air and online, Sports Radio WNSR, Brentwood, Nashville.
ABC News, I'm Ike Ajachi. With just 5 days before Americans head to the polls, there are concerns about election security and threats against workers and voters. Michael Waldman is president of New York University's Brennan Center.
Election officials all over the country of both parties have let us know that they are facing physical threats, verbal threats, and have fears for their own ability to do their job.
Walden says despite the reports, the election process is safe and secure. President Biden will be in New Mexico today, campaigning and touting his student debt forgiveness program currently stalled in the courts. 26 million people have applied to the program since it launched last month. In Russia, U.S. Embassy officials have visited WNBA star Brittany Griner, who's in jail on a drug possession conviction. The White House says the U.S. is still working back-channel talks with Russia on a prisoner exchange to bring Griner back home. This is ABC News.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. When you place your first $5 bet, that's a free bet back. Your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code WNSR. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with the promo code WNSR. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. You must be 21 years of age or older and present here in Tennessee. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued, non-withdrawable. Free bets that expire in 14 days after receipt. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the Tennessee Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios. Just a bit outside. Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call now on the Cure Hotline at 615-844-5600.
Oh, righty there.
Now the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the McFarland Show. What teamwork we've got on this program. Darren and Justin here on this Thursday afternoon. Ray is alongside. Both of them experienced me fading during the break. My gas light was on.
Yeah.
Okay, my fuel light was on. For some reason, like an idiot, I decided not to eat food today. These guys have been chowing down for the last hour, and I am just over here just melting away. And I said, Justin, man, I got bad news for you, man. I don't know if I'm going to make it. He pulls out a Jif pack of peanut butter.
Yeah. Just a little
and
cup.
slides it across a cup.
Yeah.
Slides it across the table, and I inhale that sucker during the break.
Yes, you did. Yes,
and all
you
of a
did.
sudden, the gas light went off, and I went, just peeled off, and away I went. Here we go. I'm good for this hour.
All right.
I appreciate you, man.
Not a problem. Hey, listen, that's why we here, man.
That was the energy boost I needed for Bill Keene's college football knowledge that we can soak in now.
And really, in case my wife's listening, thank my wife.
Well,
my
thank
wife is the
you
one responsible for
very much, and because of that, I'm going to go purchase what you have, and I'm just going to stuff my backpack with them. So when that happens, that'll never happen again.
There you go.
Appreciate it. Bill, what's going on? I'm sorry you had to hear that, but I really felt the need to pass that along.
Hey, boys. What's up? How you doing?
Well, we're just getting ready for this tilt on Saturday that everybody's going to be watching. It's going to be fantastic, and I think it's set up to be an unbelievable game. I've tried to think about it all week, on air, off air. Is there any chance this thing could get sideways for either team? And I just don't see it. I don't see how one team is going to run away from the other. How do you see it?
Well, the only road to that being a possibility would be one team with just a total unraveling of mistakes and turnovers, lots of benevolence, and Tennessee has not shown that other than the late in the Alabama game, which again I thought was the dagger, but they have not really turned it over when it mattered or when it could hurt them. It's think about it, they don't do a lot, and as much as that ball's up in the air, it just doesn't happen. It's amazing. I think it's a 50-50 game, guys. I know the spread's about 8.5, 9, whatever it is today, but that's a 50-50 game. And look, if they don't get to Hooker, I don't know that they slow Tennessee down better than anybody else. And they're going to have to figure out a way, Tennessee is to cover Brock Bowers, who is a receiver and a tight end's body and a nightmare matchup. You can't match up with him. So there's weaponry both ways that looks concerning.
We had Mike Griffith on this week, and I asked him, how does this year's Georgia team stack up to last year's Georgia team? And he said this year's Georgia team loses by double digits. Do you agree with that assessment or no?
Well, last year's team was better for sure. They had a generational defense. That defense and maybe the 92 Alabama defense, probably the two best defenses I've seen in college football. And you can't, I don't care how many 5-stars you sign, you cannot just roll the next group in and be that. You just can't do that back-to-back years. They're not as good on defense. Nolan Smith, one of their veterans and a top 15 pick, probably is out for the year with an injury, but they do get the Carter kid back, who is a top 5 pick on the D-line. Their secondary is very athletic, but it's human. I mean, you're not going to chase around Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman, who's back. You're just not going to be able to do that. So, yeah, I think that would be about right because that defense would be a lot better against the Georgia offense than this defense would be.
Well, I was going to ask you, what is the impact of Nolan Smith being out? So you think the impact is great, but getting also a player of his caliber back kind of evens it out?
Yeah, I mean, and Carter also is a force in the kick game, meaning he blocks kicks. And Jeremy Pruitt, I don't know if you saw that, but this week Mike Griffith has Jeremy on his podcast basically every week. And Pruitt said, look, this should be a heck of a game. He knows all the players of both teams. But Tennessee looks liable in the kicking game, and he thinks there's some leakage there that could lead to a really big play. And Carter is one of those. Not only is he a quick twitch, 320-pound defensive tackle who, again, they're predicting goes in the top 5 of the draft, but he gets his hand on the ball in the kicking game.
What did you make of Eric Ainge from the Sports Animal, former Tennessee quarterback, coming out on their airwaves saying, what's the big deal about playing in Georgia? It's not really that loud there. I mean, the minute I saw that, Bill, I was like, oh, my God, Josh Heupel probably wants to strangle him.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we all remember Eric, and he was a good player, but Eric didn't have to play this Saturday, right? I mean, he can run his mouth all he wants and sit back and watch it, not worry about look, I don't think this Tennessee team's going to crumble to intimidation anywhere. I think now it's not like they have a history of winning a lot. This is kind of new. But there's a lot of older guys on this team. I mean, you got a 24, 25-year-old quarterback who's probably, if we voted today, probably would win the Heisman. And these people have been through a whole lot. They've seen the team get destroyed in the transfer portal. They've endured a ton, and I don't think the road is going to be the main reason they lose again.
We're all kind of coming to the same conclusions. I feel like that when the rankings came out Tuesday night, it was like, oh, that's going to favor Kirby Smart and Georgia because now they get to play victim, right? They get to play the underdog role, which you already said the line in Vegas tells us they're not the underdog, but they're going to play that card. Do you buy into that at all?
I mean, at this point, I think once you get on the football field, you're not thinking about some stupid committee, right? I mean, now – in the locker room when you're getting screamed at and getting fired up before the game, I'm sure something along those lines has either been mentioned or about to be mentioned. But I think, guys, that's generally overrated. Once you get out there and you get that first hit in you, you're playing ball. I mean, whatever you've got, you've got. And I don't know. If you win the game at the end, Darren, and it's a fantastic play, you're not thinking as you're running down the field, man, that stupid committee, I'm going to show them. You know?
Yeah, I would buy into that.
By the way, the committee idea is stupid, so I meant to say that, but go ahead.
You know, we've been asking you about the whole Auburn stuff and Brian Harsin, and it finally came to roost. Cadillac Williams is going to be the interim, but, you know, everybody's going to want to see now where does Auburn turn, when this is all said and done. To me, it feels like they're going to want to make a splash. I don't think that's going out on too far of a limb. How do you think ultimately this is going to play out in your opinion?
Supposedly, the new AD, who his first order of business is first day, John Cohen from Mississippi State, fired Harsin, but it's been rumored, I think probably accurately, that he'd like to get the guy from Oxford, Lane Kiffin. I don't think Lane Kiffin would leave. Now, I'm not saying he stays forever, and Auburn is a better job. But Lane Kiffin, he's making about $7-8 million. Jimmy Sexton's his guy, so he's going to get a raise out of this no matter what. He just moved his daughter from California to be with him, and his son's coming, I think, next year. They're set to go to Ole Miss to college. And I think he wants something bigger if he's to leave. I don't know if the NFL would call or maybe look, Saban's his buddy. Maybe in 5 years Alabama calls. His resume, Lane Kiffin's resume, guys, is ascending like crazy last several years, and it continues to ascend, and he's not the spoiled brat he was back in 2009. He has matured a lot. And I don't know that job's – but plus, he was at Alabama with Nick. He knows what that fight's like. You want to go over to Auburn, which, again, is a very good job, and try and resuscitate that thing with Nick on one side and Kirby Smart staring at you on the other side. I don't think he'd take it. Here's another item. Hugh Freeze wants the job. I can promise you that. And Hugh just got a big raise at Liberty from $3 to $5 million and a long contract. But in that contract, it reads, if you go to the SEC, there's no buyout. He got that done in the contract. Ooh. He would crawl on his belly through glass. Now, again, I don't know what they're thinking because some people think he's still radioactive. I'd go after him. And I'm telling you, I think it would be a very good hire.
Auburn doesn't strike me as the program that cares about radioactive.
No.
Well, I said this on the show earlier. If we created a law in college football that said that every coach must give up all their phone records, right, over the last 20 years, and one of your enemies gets to go through those, is exactly what happened to Hugh Freeze. A Mississippi State guy that's got a site, got his hands on all those records from a lawyer, went through all the numbers and found that girl down in Tampa, right? If we did that to every coach in America, would we have a league?
No.
No.
Nope.
No.
Seriously.
No.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Bill, how much does the drama at Auburn play into it? And when I say the drama, I mean the guys off the field, outside of the university, the boosters, the Jimmy Raines, the people who influence Auburn, how big of a factor are they in the hiring decisions, and how big of a factor are they as to why they've not been able to have stability at that position in a really long time?
It's a very good question. They didn't want Brian Harsin, and Alan Green, who was the AD that they just ran out of town a couple of months ago, wanted Harsin. So he made the hire. That's one of the disconnects. And so he did it regardless of what the boosters, the collective, Jimmy Raine.
Oh, he was fearless now, but that's also why he's not there anymore, Bill.
Now, what now?
He's fearless, but isn't that also why he's no longer there?
Who, Alan Green or
I'm sorry, I thought you meant the AD that was let go.
Yeah. Alan Green was.
Alan Green, yes, okay, yes.
Correct. That's the reason why he's not there.
Yes, sir.
But he went ahead. And his guy's not one either. So I mean, it's twofold. But I think that might be a turnoff for some. It's not for Hugh Freeze. I don't think Lane Kiffin would take it. Lane's going to milk it and get up to $9 million or something instead of 7 or 8. And I don't think Matt Rule's counting millions of dollars. He's getting almost $1 million a month for 4 years. I think he'll sit around about a year and wait for maybe just some huge splash hire maybe to take next. And after that, you're speculating, right? After that, you're not getting Nick Saban, you're not getting Dabo Swinney, you're not getting Ryan Day, you're not getting Lincoln Riley, you're not getting Brian Kelly. So after that, you're speculating. You're literally just hoping.
Let's go back to the committee that you love so much, and the decision that they have to make at some point. Darren and I were talking about this, I believe, a couple days ago, and Bill, we're going to disagree, and that's fine. The one-loss SEC team versus the undefeated Big 12 team. There's one spot left. Who gets it?
I don't think the committee will go with the SEC team. I think they're going to want to show. I think they're going to want to show that they're balanced. So let's just say that Georgia, Tennessee, and Alabama one loss, and Tennessee beats Georgia. Georgia beats Alabama. First of all, we know it's impossible to get 3 in with four slots, so that's not even a conversation. But let's just say Alabama and Georgia play. And Alabama wins out, and then they beat Georgia. Georgia beats Tennessee, so Georgia's loss was like last year. They lost a game to Alabama in the SEC championship game. But see, we didn't have the same scenario. So if Ohio State at the end beats Michigan, that's going to be a really good game. But let's just say the Buckeyes win. Clemson's undefeated. TCU's undefeated. The SEC champion gets in with one loss or whatever. Ohio State gets in. Clemson gets in. And I think they'd go with TCU just to appear fair and balanced before the number 2 SEC team. I'm guessing that now, but I think that's what they would do.
Bill, my point to Darren was, if you don't go with the Big 12, the undefeated Big 12 person, what you're saying essentially is the Big 12 is ineligible for the playoff. Sure. And that is what my interpretation of that would be, because, well, what else are they supposed to do? Now, Darren's point is they need to play a tougher non-conference schedule if they want to be included in the college football playoff and be undefeated at the same time.
Bill, you can't get invited to the playoffs when you beat Tarleton, okay? Tarleton State. They beat them. That was a – by the way, who have they beaten? Honestly. Like, Oklahoma State looked like a good win. They got waxed on Saturday, 48-0. Like, is beating Texas a big deal? That'll be 4 losses for Texas if they beat them. Oklahoma – is that a big win? Like Kansas? Is that a big – like, who have they beaten that you would take them over a one-loss SEC team?
Power 5 conference or not? Like, I mean, so what are we talking – I mean, are we just excluding them to another planet now because the conference is down and they were the ones who went undefeated? Like, what are those kids and coaches supposed to do? Is it their fault that Texas is down?
Not play Tarleton.
Okay. Let's see. This is where we are, Bill. So go ahead.
But here's the point. I think those two diverse opinions can be true at the same time. What you're saying is very reasonable about their schedule. But you've got to remember the committee's not thinking like us. They're thinking about, and they'll never come out and talk about this in the name of fake transparency. But that's what I think they would do. And they're probably in the back of their minds, like I talked to you maybe a couple of weeks ago, we're about to expand this thing out. And even though number 13 is going to be the argument in the future, we're not going to have to worry about the SEC and 2 teams anymore.
Well, that's true. This is all getting ready to go away. Last thing from me, Bill, is the dust up between Michigan State and Michigan. Is this boys will be boys, or is this an indication of something deeper at Michigan State?
Again, 2 different ideas on that. It's a narrow tunnel built that way for intimidation. And everybody, now think about this, guys, how high-strung a football game is. And not only high-strung when it's just 2 opponents, but Michigan State, right?
Yeah, those
Credit
2, yeah.
Enemies. I mean, we all know Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Alabama, Auburn, Ohio State, Michigan. These are hate enemies. It's after a game, and everybody's in a tunnel, squished in there together. Now, again, so there's fault on Michigan for having such a silly situation at the end of each game, and there's been tussles in there. Now, how that Michigan kid got isolated, and there was 10 guys punching the explanation for that. So it's partly Michigan's fault, and then at Michigan State, you cannot, gang a guy, and 8 people now have been suspended, and that was wrong too. So both are wrong. Here's the other irony. The commissioner of the Big Ten, Kevin Warren's son, plays for Michigan State. So is that not a conflict of interest? Going up to all the way up to the top?
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. By the way, here's what's so funny. Big Ten canceled, remember, in 2020 before they realized how idiotic they looked, and then they came out and played a few games after that. His son was at Mississippi State at the time playing. They were not taking any time, right? They were playing, and now the kid's transferred up to Michigan State. It's pretty funny.
All right, last thing, Bill. If you had to pick one on upset alert, or you can pick both. I don't know how you're going to answer this.
Okay.
But which one would you lean towards? LSU at home against Alabama this weekend, or Notre Dame at home against Clemson? Which one would you feel better about putting on upset alert? Clemson or Alabama?
I would probably go with Notre Dame, even though they have no quarterback. They literally do not have a quarterback. But I was about to say but it's South Bend. Here's the problem with that. They haven't played well there. Marshall beat them there.
Yeah.
Stanford, who's terrible, beat them there.
Yep.
But they have wins at Syracuse and North Carolina, which are good wins. So you don't know what you're getting there. Clemson's also got a quarterback problem. DJU's not playing good. They're going to go back with him, probably a short hook, though, and then they'll go with the freshman out of Texas who looked pretty good a couple of weeks ago. I'd probably go Notre Dame. I would bet you – we always have this thing on Friday where we bet the lowest bet you can make is a John Daly's pizza, which I think you can only get in Walgreens, right? It's about $2. So I'd bet you a John Daly's pizza on that.
Okay, all right. We'll see how it plays
know John
out.
Daly made pizza.
I'll raise myself and deliver it to you.
Jeez.
Bill, always enjoy it. Thanks for doing
Thank
this.
you, sir.
And
Thank you so much,
we'll be
sir.
listening tomorrow
Thank
morning.
you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right,
Yes,
Bill
sir.
Keene tomorrow morning, 6 to 9 a.m. here on these airwaves. All right, we'll touch on some things. Maybe, I could use a John Daly pizza, but not really after you gave me the peanut butter, so thank you. We'll touch on some things we just talked about. On the other side, Cure Hotline wide open the rest of the hour at 615-844-5600. You are listening to The McFarland Show here on WNSR.
Hey, it's Patton Cook from Run With It. Let me tell you about my friends over at Smiles by Design. Dr. Dwayne Jones and his team focus on providing you with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Smiles by Design are one of the few practices that offer state-of-the-art, needle-free cavity fillings. I started going to Dr. Jones 2 years ago, and he has completely changed my smile. They are located at 105 Threet Industrial Boulevard, Unit 1001 in Smyrna. You can visit their website at drdwaynejones.com for more information, or you can call them at 615-355-1033. Again, their number is 615-355-1033. Or you can search for them on social media at Smiles by Design. So be sure the next time you're looking for dentistry services, give my friends over at Smiles by Design a try. And don't forget to tell them Pat sent you.
From the big game to the big dance, bar lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is your game day and watch party headquarters. Don't worry about entertaining guests and trying to feed everyone. Sit back, relax, cheer on your team, and let the bar line staff take care of you. Grab a bar line signature cocktail and enjoy some wicked deviled eggs, or a bar line's double stack, and finish it off with some Jack and Coke chocolate cake. Bust your belly and your bracket at Bar Line, located in the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Whoa, are you kidding me?
There's plenty of game left. Just chill out. If you're too riled up, you won't ever get to sleep tonight.
How can I chill out when I have to put up with this every single week?
Oh, and he gets picked off. Interception.
Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Okay, that's enough. Here, try these cannabis products from Lab Canna. And these heightened Delta 8 gummies and Karma Calming Caramels will help put you in a better state of mind.
Whether you win or lose, make every game day better with cannabis products from Lab Canna. Learn more today at labcanna.com.
Get all your NASCAR news every weekday right here on the Final Lap. Hey, it's Kerry Murphy, and Christopher Bell had to win and did. He is racing in the Championship 4 at Phoenix this weekend. But everybody's talking about how Ross Chastain rode the wall to beat Denny Hamlin at the line. Up next is the final race of the 2022 NASCAR season. So grab all the latest NASCAR news, race recaps, driver interviews, stats, and info every single weekday. Wow, right here.
Stuff from Bill Keane back here on the McFarland Show here on this Thursday afternoon. 615-844-5600 is how you can get in touch with us. By the way, you can get in touch with FanDuel, too, because it's the perfect time to download the FanDuel app, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get the no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's free bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just use the promo code WNSR. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. Also, you can combine your bets for a chance for a bigger payout with same-game parlays. They also got live betting if you've never experienced that, where you get updated odds on games that have already started. You can get your winnings paid fast. It's all in the app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Sign up today. Use that promo code WNSR. No sweat first bet, promo code WNSR. Make every moment this season with FanDuel, the official sports book partner of the NFL. Remember, here in Tennessee, you have to be a resident in Tennessee. You also have to be 21 years of age or older. First online real money wager, a refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets. It expires in 14 days. Restrictions do apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems, call Tennessee Redline 1-800-889-9789. Tonight you've got Eagles.
Yeah.
Texans.
Boy.
Big point spread for a road favorite. I mean, it's almost 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
A lot in the NFL.
Tells you what they think of the Texans.
Yeah.
Even at home. I think I'm with Nick. 13.5 for a road team in the NFL, that just seems like too much. I know the Texans stink, but that seems like too many points. If you're going to touch it, I'd probably take the Texans and the points. You've got Phillies and Astros. Boy, I think that is a toss-up game right there. I'd probably lean toward the Phillies rebounding tonight.
No, that would make sense.
Especially Verlander's troubles for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Hall of Fame pitcher, but he has struggled in World Series.
Yeah. That would make sense. But at some point, though, and our guest talked about it earlier, we all know the Astros have more potentially, talent on the field than the Philadelphia Phillies. And at some point that talent gets up, you would think, and starts to show itself. Now, I think the Phillies are hoping that, it's later, not now. To think, maybe it's just not going to show up at all. But if the Astros start playing like the Astros, then, they're going to give anybody a problem. And that could have been the first taste of that, may have been last night, for all we know. So, we'll see.
No doubt about it. So some things we were talking about with Bill Keane. That's now 2 guests we've had on that don't feel that Lane Kiffin's going to take it. So that's interesting. So Bill said he doesn't believe he's gonna take it. By the way, he already makes a good chunk of change in Oxford, which we got. The other guest we had on was Nick Suss, who also said he doesn't believe Lane Kiffin's going to take it.
It's not worth it.
He's making over $7 million. And I agree with Bill. He's going to use this to his advantage, which you should.
Sure.
Look, if anybody's got somebody out there that wants your services, that can get you what you want where you're currently working, a bump in pay or whatever you're leveraging,
whatever it is,
man, you use it to your advantage.
Absolutely.
100%, because you don't get those chances very often in life.
So he can get another $1 million out of this. Sure.
If he can get it now if he can make $8.5 million a year, do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nick Suss, Bill Keane says, Lane Kiffin, he's not going.
No.
Okay. He said Hugh Freeze, I think he said what, crawl on his belly in glass?
Yeah, broken glass.
On broken glass to get to Auburn. Is Hugh Freeze where they turn? Is it Matt Rule? But he said Matt Rule's getting a healthy sum of money just to sit there and do nothing.
That job down there has sharp edges to it. It is not.
It's not smooth?
No. It is not your typical job. The interference down there.
It's 40 grit sandpaper.
It's.
Think about if toilet paper was 40 grit sandpaper. That's what that Auburn job feels like.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
That would hurt, right?
Yeah, that doesn't feel great. But it's not. It's just not worth it for the more established guys. And think about this. When's the last time an established guy took that job? Think about the people who've taken the job. They haven't been established guys. What great guy from somewhere came in and took the job? It's not really, a destination job, despite the facilities and the money and everything else, because it's surrounded with so much other stuff that's off the field, and people just don't think it's worth it. And then, by the way, you got to compete against Nick Saban in state 24/7. Why? Why am I doing that? For what? Why are we doing this for? Why is Matt Rule doing that? He don't have to do that. Why does Lane Kiffin have to? He don't have to do that. That's a job for somebody who is looking to make the most of a great opportunity for themselves, that's on the come up, that's willing to put up with the shenanigans for the sake of the opportunity to do something great. Now, I don't know who that is exactly. I can't think of exactly who that might be, but it's somebody who is up and coming at a smaller school right now, a smaller Power 5 somewhere that's done well, that can go in there and is willing to put up with the shenanigans for the opportunity to compete at the biggest, best conference at one of the schools that can actually win it.
I'll tell you why I don't believe they'll do that, because they just did that with Brian Harsin. And it was met with you hired the Boise State coach?
So they don't respect the Boise State coach.
Look, it didn't get much attention. It was like, really? Like, everybody was like, really? Brian Harsin?
They don't.
And it failed miserably. Yeah. Well, so I just don't think they're going to do that again. Like, I don't think they're going to go get Lance Leopold.
Yeah, okay.
Okay? You're talking about going from Buffalo to Kansas to Auburn.
Yeah.
Okay? That is not just baby steps.
No.
That's a leap over the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's big.
Okay, that is a totally different animal.
Yeah.
That's swimming in the baby pool, and then that's going to swim in Lake Erie in December.
Yeah.
Okay? That's 2 different swims.
Yeah.
Baby pool out in the backyard in the south, Lake Erie in December.
That's rough stuff.
By the way, Lake Erie's rough. It's like ocean rough.
Oh, yeah, it's rough stuff.
And it's cold as you know what in December.
That's the reason why they call it the Great Lakes.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to do that again. I don't see it.
Well,
I think You know them. You know they're crazy. You're painting the picture for everybody out there in Radio Land. They are bat bleep crazy at Auburn. So they're going to want a sexy name. They're going to want something big splash. Does that mean it translates to wins and they're back?
Well,
no.
What they
But
want. No, they can want all they want.
I know.
They forget that. No, I don't. What they want is, I don't know who it is that they actually want, but it really doesn't matter anyway. I mean, they can want Deion Sanders if they want to. I don't know if they really want Deion Sanders or not, but I don't see Deion Sanders being a good fit down there at Auburn.
I don't either.
Because Deion comes with his own stuff down there, and I just don't think Deion stuff and Auburn stuff makes for good stuffing. I just don't see that. So you want to bring some, and here's the other thing with Auburn. You got to find somebody who really wants the job. And when I say that, I mean somebody who wants to come stay and build there. Somebody who really has a love for that particular region of the country or that particular school. Because they're the people that are going to put up with the shenanigans and be able to survive. I don't think they should have ever fired Gus Malzahn. I thought that was a tremendous mistake because Malzahn was winning not at the clip they wanted. He made a bad choice at quarterback, then that happens. But he was winning enough games, he was competitive, and he was willing to deal with the shenanigans. Yeah, there was no, he was able to deal with the boosters. He was able to deal with the president. He was able to deal with the alumni. He was able to kind of keep everybody happy, and he was beating Nick Saban every now and again.
Which is fine.
Yeah. But they wanted better.
I know. But
And,
that's
and
fine.
so, and so now he's not there, and now they're scrounging around, and they don't know what they missed out with Gus. I'm not saying Gus Malzahn is Vince Lombardi. I'm just saying that for them, Gus Malzahn was pretty good. Was actually really good.
Was Bo Nix the quarterback you're talking about, or no?
No. It was
It's
not Jeremy.
Because Bo Nix is the Oregon quarterback. It's still weird.
No.
to see him at
It was
Oregon.
a guy who busted down there.
I know.
He was
I know who you're talking.
He was
about.
the quarterback who was supposed to come in and
Yep.
kill it.
Yep.
And he was a bust.
Yep.
And he was supposed to come in and kill it. And as a result, the other quarterback they had left because all the allegiance went to this guy, and it did not work out.
Yeah.
And then it set the program back. They lost a bunch of games, and they said, this is a good opportunity. And that's the other thing. It's the infighting down there, too, because they can't. They're always fighting, well, we should go this way. Oh, see, your way didn't work. It's time to go the other way. It's a tough situation to be in down there.
They're a dysfunctional family.
A little bit. And they're big on family now. Because the Auburn family is a real thing. Don't you think it's not? Yes, it is. They love people who went to Auburn, and they speak on it, and it's a real thing. They embrace each other, and I'm sure there's a lot of pride right now that Cadillac Williams is the head coach. But let's be real. We all know Cadillac Williams is not going to be the for real head coach at Auburn. But he's there, and he's going to do that, and he'll be a great ambassador for the program. But they got to find somebody who loves them like that, that's going to be willing to stick in there and stay with them. And I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
Good luck with that.
11.8 million viewers last night for the World Series, Game 4.
All right,
that's good. Where were people watching that?
On Fox 17.
Fox 17. Okay,
yes.
Cool.
That's where you can find it.
Cool. Yeah.
Tell you what, I've never seen that many replays of of strikeouts before. Like last night they were showing things I have honestly never seen in a baseball game. Just the amount of replays, the angles that they had last night of pitches, it just struck me. The super slow-mo stuff in high definition is like magical.
It's pretty cool.
They're doing some things. They had a thing last night where they came back from commercial break where they were showing the pitcher for the Phillies throwing the baseball, where you could see every single vein and muscle in his arm pop and move, and the angle in which his arm has to come over in super slow motion. It was absolutely unreal. So good job with the production team last night with some of that. And, the pregame stuff with Big Papi and Frank Thomas and Alex Rodriguez, it's a good broadcast. It really is.
Yep.
They do a good job.
Most watched Game 4 since 2018, Dodgers and Red Sox.
Also ran to a hole last night. Nothing else on last night.
Yeah.
No football to compete against.
Nope.
It's just them.
Nope. You're right. Derrick Henry spoke today to the media. We'll come back and hear what he had to say. More coming here on the McFarland Show, WNSR.
Nashville's first curling venue is here at T-Line Nashville. Come check out T-Line Nashville and experience the world's fastest growing winter sport today. Curling is a fun and simple sport that's a perfect outing for friends, corporate events, families, or parties. T-Line also has classic bowling and modern bowling mini games. With over 20 HD TVs, you can come watch your favorite teams and some of the best food and drinks here in Nashville in the large bar and grill area. They also have an outdoor area with a fire pit, and you can't forget the live music. T-Line Nashville is a one-stop shop for a great night out. Located at 106 Duluth Avenue and online at tlinenash.com. You can book your party now or give them a call at 615-439-1024. That's 615-439-1024. And make sure you give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at T-Line Nash for all the news, events, and updates. T-Line Nashville. Nashville's first curling venue is here. Before you know it, the holiday season will be upon us, so it's time to start planning. If you're having a holiday party or event this year, then you should consider the Omni Nashville Hotel. Have a festive holiday party for your company, family, or friends at the most luxurious location in Music City. All your guests will experience the award-winning service from their well-trained, courteous staff at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Rooms that are second to none, and venues that will be the envy of all your guests. For smaller gatherings, reserve the private dining room inside Kitchen Notes. For a fun party atmosphere, consider bar lines. And for high-end corporate entertaining, choose Bob's Steakhouse. You can't go wrong when you book your party at the Omni Nashville Hotel. For more information or inquire about availability, just call 615-782-5333. That's 615-782-5333. The Omni Nashville Hotel, Music City's holiday party destination. Hey, basketball fans. The 2023 Commodore Sport Event posters are out and brought to you by these great sponsors: JJ Home Inspection, Joe Link Concrete Construction, Billy's Automotive, Parker Watts Insurance, Armor Concepts LLC, Frederick and Clark Realty LLC, Richard Courtney, Aloco Hardwood Floors, Hargrove Body Shop, Firefly Pediatric Dentistry, Tri-State Cremation. Brought to you and paid for by Prestige Marketing LLC. Visit them online at prestigemarketingllc.com.
It's a Bill King Show.
Lane Kiffin. Let me get this straight. Bill, smooth-talking James Franklin just lost a quarterback recruit to Sun Belt Billy. Put him on the hot seat, Bill. The only thing James Franklin is good at is working the coaching carousel for a raise each year. He's really good at that. He's very, very good.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
McFarland Show, Darren and Justin here with you on this Thursday afternoon. Let's go over to the desk. Ray is standing by with some prices for the Tennessee-Georgia game in Athens Saturday afternoon.
I've got the lowest and highest. You guys throw out a guess.
Okay, nobody cares about the low.
Okay, well
Right?
the low's pretty high.
Right, but that's because I don't want to know that number. So
Okay.
I want to concentrate on the high.
Okay.
So Justin, this is like Price is Right.
What's the high?
So I'm going to bid $1 more than you so I can win.
There it is.
On Price is Right, so I can get called up on stage.
We're looking for the high, right? And
Yes.
we're talking
the
about
highest price ticket for the game.
We're talking about, just a regular seat. We're not talking about,
no suites
suite
or nothing.
levels,
It's just the highest
and
price.
extra,
Like StubHub,
extreme-
Ticketmaster, whatever.
Extreme Orange VIP experience is not included. Okay, you
all
don't
the
get
bells and whistles. Yeah,
you don't get to call
none
a
of that.
play, during the third quarter
It's
just
just a
because
ticket.
just a ticket.
This is not a charity.
Okay.
We're not bidding on this.
Okay,
It's an auction.
just never know. You got to ask because there's a lot of different things out there. One ticket for this game, the highest I would think is $30K.
$30K. Okay. So you're 30 plus.
Oh, I don't believe that.
No.
I think that's way too high.
So you're not going to do the $1 here. Okay.
I would, if we were playing Price is Right, I would definitely do $1 for sure, and my name would get called up. I'm going to go with. Let's go with $2,000.
$2,000.
$2,000. Yeah, I'm going to go with $2,000.
boy.
Yeah, you're way over. You're way too high.
Jeez, $2,000.
30,000 is up there.
Yeah, that's way
for
high.
a non playoff
Georgia-Tennessee game, a college football game in the regular season, $30,000.
$30,000 for one ticket.
Yeah, no, that's.
What's the number, Ray?
So this is the most expensive regular season college football game on record. It goes, highest price is $5,233.
Okay,
5,000.
So that's even higher than I thought.
And the lowest just to get in is $600.
Just to get in the building.
Just to get get in
the building.
Yeah, that's it.
You stand somewhere on along a wall somewhere.
So
if you can find a wall
for a Georgia
Regular
Tennessee
season.
game.
Yeah, for a regular season game.
When I was in school,
wait a minute,
you could probably get a Kentucky Georgia ticket for like face value is probably like $20.
Yeah,
$20.
Well, this is why the Vandy games sell out all the time with with those guys because the tickets are so cheap.
Yeah.
Because if you got to pay $5,000 to see them one week, and you can see them play Vandy, another week for $15, it's a lot
A couple
easier.
years ago,
Yeah.
I went to. You remember when they opened against Georgia?
Yeah.
Remember that
Mm-hmm.
game?
Yeah.
I went.
Mm-hmm.
I had some friends in from Atlanta. They weren't Georgia fans. They were in visiting. It was Labor Day weekend.
Sure.
Remember?
Yeah.
And we all went together. I got all tickets, and we went. I swear, to you, I couldn't believe it. It was sold out.
Yeah.
The problem was there were like 3,000 Vanderbilt fans.
Well, yeah.
It was like it was the whole
they know
stadium was red.
They know what time it is. Yeah. They know what's going on.
It was unbelievable. Like I know
is
it
it
was
really
going to be
unbelievable. You've been
No,
here?
Justin. No, I know. I've seen. Look, I've been to Tennessee when they were in their hate, but not like 90% visiting team.
Oh, I think it's been like that for a while over there now. When the big guys come to town, when Alabama comes to town, it's 90% Alabama. Yeah. You go over there on West End on game day and tell me what you see.
Ooh.
Especially Florida.
That's
the Florida folks. When Florida gets here,
they
you see
travel
that
well.
blue and orange all over the place. Because it's cheaper to see, and it's a vacation package. That's the other thing. Kentucky travels well down here too, and you know this. The Music City Bowl loves Kentucky. Okay, they love Kentucky. Why do they love Kentucky? It's drivable. People will come support their team, and they love everything Nashville's got to offer, and they will spend money here. And it's the same thing with Vanderbilt and most of the SEC schedule that comes here. Until they're able to, do a little better. This is it.
Music City was like that. They loved volunteers. There was a couple of years they were back to back in the Music City Bowl.
The Volunteers are pretty good.
Last year.
Yeah, last year as well.
Sold out.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I know
They don't get
it's
as much
the
hotel money from the Volunteers.
It's the beginning of November. I get it. But Mel Kiper did just put out his big board for the mock draft.
Mel
Kiper.
Kiper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
literally. Just
all right,
that.
Dan, so-
Okay, let's just
Yeah, I
play
got you.
along.
Come
Who
on
do you
with it,
think
yeah.
he's got as the number one pick overall? Remember, this is just
I would
today.
imagine the Heisman
This
winner
is
from
today.
Alabama, Bryce Young, would be number one overall.
No.
Nope. So you've seen this?
No, I've not seen it, but
Okay, it's not.
I don't think it is.
It is a guy from Alabama. It's not Bryce Young.
Oh, that means it's Will Anderson.
It is Will Anderson.
Okay.
He's got Will Anderson as the number one pick in the draft.
One or the other.
He's got Jalen Carter, who we'll see on Saturday against
Okay.
Tennessee.
Okay.
The DB for Georgia as the number 2 pick.
No way. No way.
I find that hard to believe,
No way.
too. I find that hard to believe. Who's 3? Okay, so then 3, 4, and 5 are quarterbacks.
All the quarterbacks?
Yes. So who do you think is 3?
So it's got to be either Strout or Young, or I'm missing the other guy, because those are your or Hendon Hooker.
So what's your guess?
Number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going Bryce Young.
Okay. Ray?
I'm going CJ.
CJ Stroud, number 3.
Okay.
Number 4, not Bryce Young.
Then Hendon
What?
Hooker.
No. It's the one that's been driving up the draft boards recently, the quarterback from Kentucky.
Will Levis.
Yep.
Number 4.
He has been skyrocketing on the boards.
Whatever. I mean, this
I know.
happens. This happens all the time,
Yep.
and then we get into it, and
I
then
know.
we,
Yep,
you know.
But it's fun to talk because you know
No.
what? We'll reference this.
No.
Months from now, we'll be like, remember
no.
when we played that game?
It's not that it's wrong. It has nothing to do with the fact that it's wrong. But the guys who fly up the draft board, and then once we get into, and they're drafted that high, then we get into the NFL, then we figure out,
No, you know why we're playing this game? Because you know what? Sitting in this seat this time last year, you know what quarterback we would have been talking about on this?
Kenny Pickett?
No, been Malik Willis.
Yeah.
He would have been the first quarterback taken in a mock draft last November.
Yeah. He was up there.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? That's what's fun because and then he gets drafted in the 3rd round.
He was up there.
So
and
this
he
is
fell. Yeah.
This is a mock draft, you said? So he's saying the first player taking off the board will be a defensive player?
That's what
the first quarterback
he's
was
saying.
taking 3?
He put out his top 25 big board going into this week of college football.
It's his rankings. Okay.
Yeah, it's his rankings.
Okay.
Will Anderson, 1. Jalen Carter, 2. C.J. Stroud, 3. Will Levis, 4. Bryce Young, 5. And then let me get into some people because, you know, you got some offensive tackle for Northwestern, whatever. For this area, for this market, Jalen Hyatt, pick 13.
Wide receiver,
13.
Okay.
He's made himself some money this year.
Let's see.
The way things are going, 13, that sounds like the Packers.
Cam Smith, cornerback, South Carolina, pick 19.
Okay.
And Nolan Smith, who's not going to be playing in the game, Georgia's linebacker at 24. And Hendon Hooker is not on that list. That's why I brought it up. That was another reason I brought it up. Hendon Hooker not on that list.
With Nolan being out this week, is that really a big loss for Georgia?
Yes.
I mean, has he really performed that big? I mean, he's only had, 40 tackles, 3 sacks?
But he leads the team in sacks. That's how pitiful they've been.
They're nothing like last year.
They're not. That's the point.
Yeah.
But that's how pitiful they've been getting to the quarterback. He leads the team in sacks with 3. Trace.
And they're still favored by 8.
Right.
Somebody knows something we're not talking about.
That's right. So I thought that was
always
fun.
do.
Yeah, Somebody knows something we're not talking about, because if it's not adding up, there's something going on.
And they went wipe 10, and they were like, "Aha, that's what it was."
Yep.
They ran the ball.
Just kind of fun to
check
to
the
pass
officials
that
for
along.
this week's game. See who's, because that could be the swing right there.
Absolutely.
No, you didn't know because you don't check to see if Luke Smith is going to be officiating out there. If you check for old Luke,
loves to throw flags.
Yeah, if you check for old Luke, you would know that this is going to go this way.
All right, we will hear from Derrick Henry the Keen on the other side. We'll hear what he had to say about his injury he's dealing with, and we'll do that to wrap up Thursday's edition of the McFarland Show. We'll do that next.
Located at 5410 Murfreesboro Road in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers is one-stop shopping for all your liquor, beer, and wine needs and has been a multiple winner annually in the Best of Rutherford County voting for Best Liquor Store and Top Wine Shop. Featuring the lowest prices, the best customer service with unsurpassed knowledge, City Slickers offers the largest craft beer selection in Rutherford and southeastern Davidson counties and has beer on tap at its Growler filling station. City Slickers also sells mixers, sodas, snacks, tobacco products, and the Tennessee Lottery, and can place special orders and assist with all your events and even wedding planning. Make sure you follow City Slickers on all their social media or just give them a call at 615-280-7469. That's 615-280-7469. Located in the heart of Laverne, City Slickers.
Hey guys, it's Zach. Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today to get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's free bets back if your bet doesn't win. Just sign up with our promo code TAS. There's so many great deals. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. And you get paid your winnings fast. All on an app that's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 $50 in free bets, win or lose, with promo code TAS. Make every moment more this season with FanDuel, official sportsbook partner of the NFL. In the state of Tennessee, you got to be 21 and up and present in Tennessee. First online, real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call the TN Red Line, 1-800-889-9789.
Lieutenant, can you tell us what happened today?
Our officers responded to a crash on I-40 westbound this morning. The driver of a pickup truck lost control of the vehicle, veered left, and went into a ditch.
911, what's your emergency?
We've been in a crash. Please send someone. My fiancé is hurt.
A front seat passenger was wearing a seatbelt. She survived without injury. The driver was not wearing a seatbelt and was ejected from the truck. He died at the scene.
Law enforcement writes tickets to save lives. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join Joe Fisher and me for the Mid-State Checkdown High School Game of the Week Friday night, presented by Tim Leeper Roofing, with a Class 6A first-round playoff match between the Riverdale Warriors and hosts Lebanon Blue Devils. Our prep football playoffs coverage presented by Tim Leeper Roofing begins with a pregame show at 6:45 and kickoff at 7. And then after the game, the scoreboard show with Bruno Reagan and Ray Dosky. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, WNSR.com, and the station app. That's Riverdale at Lebanon in the Class 6A playoffs Friday night, right here on Nashville Sports Radio.
Derrick Henry was limited in practice yesterday, did not practice today, but did speak with the media.
So, foot is fine. There's nothing to panic about. Everybody have a great Thursday. So,
okay,
so, there it is.
There
He's fine.
Foot's fine.
He's fine. Now, because nothing will send fantasy owners and Titans fans into panic faster than the tweet Derrick Henry foot in the same sentence on Twitter.
Yes.
That is cause for mass panic in the streets.
Amani Hooker did not practice yesterday or today. Of course, he's trying to get back in there with that shoulder injury. Naquan Jones didn't practice either day. It's an illness, though. Big Jeffrey Simmons, has not practiced either day, but he didn't practice last week.
Yeah.
And it looked very bleak that he was going to play, but he did. Look, if he played last week and did what he did, if he didn't practice this week, I guess we can't look into it, right? It doesn't really matter. Aaron Brewer, limited yesterday, dealing with a toe injury, back as a full participant today.
That's good because they need him to play.
Yep. Ryan Tannehill, limited yesterday, did not practice today. What's your gut feeling?
My gut feeling is that he doesn't play. And the reason why I don't think he's going to play is because I think that for the organization, this game against Kansas City is nice. You need to win it. It'd be great to win it, but it's not make or break. And I don't know if they really want to risk him right now. For if they need him for the rest of the year, then you want to make sure he's right. And there's no guarantee you're going to beat Kansas City even with Ryan Tannehill, so why run him out there?
So you are leaning towards he does not play.
Yes, that's why I'm leaning towards.
By the way, Kansas City, no one of real note. They got real, nobody.
Good for them.
The only guy that did not practice today was Jody Fortson. Sure.
Okay.
He's a tight end.
Well, good for them.
Nobody has a clue who their tight ends are other than Travis Kelce.
Yes.
He's the only one that matters.
I heard somebody say during the last game for the Chiefs that Travis Kelce was on pace in his mind, and I can't remember who said it, to be the greatest tight end in the history of the NFL at this point. Like, he's on that kind of projection.
Does that shock you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Why? He basically catches 100 balls a year.
Considering
the other tight end.
The other guy, who played in Kansas City, who's currently considered the greatest tight end in the ball.
Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Shannon Sharp, pretty darn good. Tony Gonzalez. Antonio Gates, pretty darn good.
Yeah. I don't – you're telling me – and, and they're different, but Travis Kelce is better than Tony Gonzalez?
They're saying when it's all said and done, yeah, maybe.
We'll have to, we'll have to wait. I'm not there yet. And if other people are there, that's understandable. I'm not going to throw rocks at you. I'm just saying, for me and mine, I'm not there yet to say Travis Kelce is better than Tony Gonzalez. He's very good. Hall of Famer, sure. Absolutely. Not taking a thing away from the man. And I don't think it's a crime to say you're not as good as Tony Gonzalez. I think, I think that's okay to say.
He has 67 catches in his first season as a rookie. 72, 85, 83, 103.
Sure.
97, 105, 92 last year, and is on pace to do the same thing again this year.
He's very good.
Catches.
Listen, again, take him to Canton. No question about it. Greatest of GOAT?
Yeah. No, look. Tony Gonzalez, Shannon Sharp, and
Tony
Antonio
Gonzalez
Gates
they
were
put the
pretty
mark real
good,
high,
man. Yeah.
real high.
Those were really, really, really good tight ends. But guess what? He's been really, 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 really good.
He has.
For about 8 straight seasons.
Yeah.
Like off the charts good.
Yeah.
So annoyed with the whole GOAT thing. It's always thrown around, like loosely, the GOAT label.
Yeah.
We talked about this.
Yeah, we did. We talked about it off mic. Yeah, we did.
That'll do it for our Thursday show. Have a great rest of your day. We can't wait to talk to you tomorrow to wrap up the week at 2 o'clock. Stay tuned. Afternoon Stretch is next.